Europe in the late 18th century was a tapestry of empires and kingdoms, interwoven by centuries of alliances and rivalries. The French Revolution, which erupted in 1789, shattered this delicate balance of power. It was a seismic event that sent shockwaves across the continent, challenging the very foundations of the old order. For the monarchs and aristocrats of Europe, it represented a dangerous contagion, a threat to their own power and privilege. The execution of King Louis XVI in 1793 and the subsequent Reign of Terror further inflamed tensions. European monarchs trembled at the thought of similar uprisings in their own lands. This fear, coupled with opportunistic desires to exploit France's weakness, paved the way for the formation of the First Coalition. What began as a conflict confined to France would soon engulf the whole of Europe in a maelstrom of war. The French Revolution was not merely a domestic upheaval, it was a beacon that illuminated the injustices of the old order across Europe. The ideals of the revolution resonated far beyond France's borders, inspiring both admiration and fear. The execution of Louis XVI in 1793 marked a turning point. It was a stark symbol of the revolution's radicalism, a regicide that sent shockwaves across Europe's royal courts. The monarchs of Europe, already wary of the revolution's potential to incite similar uprisings in their own lands, were now genuinely terrified. The Reign of Terror, a period of extreme violence and political repression, further solidified this fear. Led by Maximilien Robespierre and the Committee of Public Safety, the Terror saw the mass execution of those deemed enemies of the revolution. The French Revolution, in its early years, was a period of great upheaval and uncertainty. It was against this backdrop of revolutionary fervor and European anxiety that the First Coalition took shape. The First Coalition, formed in 1792, marked the beginning of a quarter-century of conflict that would reshape the map of Europe. United by a shared fear of revolutionary France, a diverse array of European powers joined forces to contain the revolution and restore the old order. The coalition's primary members included Austria, Prussia, Great Britain, Spain, the Netherlands, and Sardinia. Each member of the First Coalition had its own motivations for joining the alliance. Austria was particularly concerned about the revolution's spread to its territories in the Austrian Netherlands, modern-day Belgium. Prussia saw the revolution as a threat to the stability of the Holy Roman Empire. Great Britain, initially hesitant, joined after the French Republic's declaration of war in 1793. The First Coalition was a fragile alliance, riven by internal divisions and competing interests. The War of the First Coalition was fought on multiple fronts, from the shores of the Mediterranean to the fields of Flanders. The early years of the war saw a string of French defeats as the coalition's armies advanced into France. However, the tide began to turn for the French with the Battle of Valmy in September 1792. Though tactically a stalemate, Valmy was a crucial strategic victory for the French. It demonstrated the resilience of the revolutionary armies and boosted French morale. Another key battle was the Siege of Toulon in 1793. Toulon, a major French port, had fallen into British hands. The siege marked the emergence of a young artillery officer named Napoleon Bonaparte, whose strategic brilliance played a key role in the French recapture of the city. The French, inspired by revolutionary fervor and led by a new generation of talented commanders, proved to be a formidable foe. The coalition, plagued by internal divisions and hampered by logistical challenges, struggled to maintain its unity and momentum. The War of the First Coalition was marked by a series of shifting alliances and military fortunes. The French Republic, initially on the defensive, gradually gained the upper hand. One of the key factors in the coalition's eventual defeat was its internal disunity. The coalition partners, each with their own agendas and rivalries, struggled to coordinate their efforts effectively. Austria and Prussia, the two main military powers within the coalition, were often at odds. Moreover, the coalition's war effort was hampered by logistical challenges. Despite these challenges, the First Coalition achieved some notable victories, particularly in the early years of the war. By 1797, the First Coalition was on the verge of collapse. The War of the First Coalition had a profound impact on Europe, redrawing the continent's political map and ushering in an era of unprecedented change. The war shattered the old order, weakened the Holy Roman Empire, and paved the way for the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte. One of the most significant consequences of the war was the Treaty of Campo Formio, signed in 1797 between France and Austria. The treaty marked the formal dissolution of the First Coalition and a humiliating defeat for Austria. France gained significant territorial concessions, including control over the Austrian Netherlands and parts of Italy. The war also had a profound impact on the Holy Roman Empire, a complex and outdated political entity. The Treaty of Campo Formio effectively ended the Holy Roman Empire's authority over its territories on the left bank of the Rhine River. Perhaps the most enduring legacy of the War of the First Coalition was the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon's military genius, first demonstrated during the Siege of Toulon, flourished during the Italian campaign. The War of the First Coalition was a watershed moment in European history. The War of the First Coalition, though ultimately a defeat for the Allied powers, left an indelible mark on the course of European history. It was a conflict that transcended national boundaries, a clash of ideologies that pitted the forces of revolution against the defenders of the old order. The war's legacy is complex and multifaceted. It shattered the illusion of invincibility that had surrounded the European monarchies, demonstrating the power of popular movements. The French Revolution, once seen as a localized threat, had proven its capacity to inspire and incite change far beyond France's borders. The ideals of the French Revolution continued to resonate throughout the continent. The War of the First Coalition was a crucible from which a new Europe emerged. The war's legacy remains a testament to the transformative power of ideas and the enduring human quest for liberty and equality.